So good afternoon, and as I know that you know your exam syllabus, and if you are having any queries related to your exam, which chapters which are in your exam, you can ask me. Okay. So today I will continue the chapter photosynthesis in higher plants. Okay, so in my previous classes I have discussed about the different photosynthetic pigments, and today we will get to know to another new terms that are absorption spectrum and action spectrum. Just open your book and open page number 210. Yes, ask me. Yes. So, open your book, page number 210. Okay. So, there are some graphs. You have to follow the graphs from the book because they have used the different colors. So, it will help you to understand the two terms that are new to you, that is absorption spectrum and action spectrum. Okay, just follow the first graph which is present in your book. So, first one is absorption spectrum. Absorption spectrum means a graph plotted against the light absorbed by the chlorophyll. A graph plotted against the light absorbed by the chlorophyll. That means we can say that absorbed by the photosynthetic pigment. So you can see that there is a graph, and you know the visible spectrum, that is VIBGYOR, and you can see from that graph from the book, that is two peak you have found. Then they have used three different colors: a bluish type of green, a olive green, and a yellowish type of color. Bluish one is for chlorophyll A, another one is for chlorophyll B, and the yellowish one is for carotenoids. As you know that these are the different colors for different photosynthetic pigments. So in the left side of that graph you can see that absorbance of light by chloroplast pigment is given, and in that another portion, in that portion there will be the visible spectrum, that is VIBGYOR. So you can see that in particular position, two position, the pigments has been shown the highest absorbance. Okay, light highest peak, two peaks can be found. So these two are particularly blue and red light region. So this region is blue light region and this region is red light region. So we can say that different pigments will show their absorbing highest absorbing light absorbing power at the particularly blue and red wavelength. Now come to the next graph. There we will get to know about the action spectrum. It is the same, a graph plotted against the rate of photosynthesis or the amount of photosynthesis. So in that particular graph you can see that another two peaks can be found in that two particular regions, right? So this graph explains about the action spectrum. That means we came to know what is absorption spectrum and what is action spectrum. One is related to the light absorbance by the photosynthetic pigments, and the another one is the a graph plotted against the rate of photosynthesis. And how rate of photosynthesis can be measured? It can be measured by the amount of oxygen released. Okay, as you know that the end of the photosynthesis oxygen will be released, and with the help of that amount of released oxygen, the rate of photosynthesis can be measured. Now if we superimpose these two graphs, now we will get to know this type of graph which has been shown in the last diagram in your book, that is 13.3.3. So just follow the graph from the book. So you can see that the visible spectrum is given there 400 to 700, and that side y axis they have mentioned the absorbed light. Okay. So if we superimpose this action spectrum and absorption spectrum, we will get this type of two graphs, and particularly the near about 480 and near about 680, it will show the blue and red light, and you can see the highest peak for this only in this particular two regions. Now we can say, and in the last part we have taken only one chlorophyll pigment, that is chlorophyll A. So from these graphs we can conclude that chlorophyll A has maximum absorption power in the blue and red regions, and that particular two regions will show the higher rate of photosynthesis. Why? Because chlorophyll is the chief photosynthetic pigments, as you know, and when they will get the maximum amount of light, the rate of photosynthesis will be highest. That's why we are getting this type of graph, and we can conclude that most of the photosynthesis takes place in the particularly blue and red regions of the spectrum. Okay, and as we know that some photosynthesis does takes place at other wavelengths of the visible spectrum, and you know that chlorophyll is the major photosynthetic pigments, and some accessory photosynthetic pigments are present like xanthophyll, carotenoids, which are present on the thylakoids of thylakoid of chloroplast, like chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, carotenoids, and which are called accessory pigments, and they will absorb the light energy and transport the energy to chlorophyll A. Okay, so they are enabled to absorb wide range of wavelength, which are that means incoming light utilized for photosynthesis. Okay, and the another function of these accessory pigments which I have mentioned, that they are protecting chlorophyll A pigment from the photooxidation. So these are the main two photosynthetic pigments and some accessory pigments which are playing role in photosynthesis. Now in my previous class I have discussed one more thing, that is the process can be divided into two parts. What are these? Light reaction and dark reaction. Two processes are there, light dependent and light independent. And light dependent process is also considered as photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation, and this photophosphorylation may be of two types. What are they? Cyclic photophosphorylation and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. And the light reaction, the alternative name of dark reaction is light independent phase or Kelvin cycle, as the scientist Kelvin has been discovered this phase, or C3 cycle. Why it is called as C3 cycle? Because first intermediate product of this cycle is a 3 carbon compound. That's why it is called as C3 cycle. So first today I will discuss about the light dependent phase or light reaction, and I will discuss about the photophosphorylation, cyclic and non-cyclic. So photo means light, so in the presence of light phosphorylation will take place, and how I will show you. Now first we have to know what is light reaction and what are the main steps of light reaction. So steps of light reaction. So what are the steps? First one is absorption of light energy. Second one is photolysis of water. Third one is release of O2. Okay, and the fourth one is formation of some high energy chemical intermediates like ATP and NADPH. Formation of high energy chemical intermediates like ATP and NADPH. So these are the main steps of light reaction of photosynthesis. I am repeating. First, absorption of light reaction, light energy will take place. Then with the photolysis, means with the help of that light, the water molecule will be broken down and the oxygen will be released as a byproduct, and ultimately in this process the high energy chemical intermediates will be formed. Two chemical intermediates are ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and NADPH. Now we have to read all these points in detail. So first one is absorption of light energy. So how this absorption of light energy is taking place, or who is playing main role in this process, first we have to know. So as we know that light reaction is also called as photochemical reaction. Why photochemical reaction? Because in this particular light reaction, light energy, that photo means light is required, and the light energy is converting into chemical energy. You can see that some high energy chemical intermediates are forming. So for this the light reaction is called as photochemical reaction, and some photosynthetic pigments are organized and into light harvesting complex. So another new term we have to know, that is light harvesting complex. L for light, H for harvesting, C for complex. So what is light harvesting complex? That some pigments are organized into two discrete photochemical light harvesting complex. So pigments of photosynthetic pigments are organized into structure which is called as light harvesting complex, and these will be found within the photosystem. Two photosystems can be found. What are they? These two are photosystem 1, or we can call it PS1, or photosystem 2, in short PS2. These light harvesting complexes can be found under these two photosystems, and they are named in the sequence of their discovery, not in the sequence in which they are function during the light reaction. Okay, so you will find that in that particular non-cyclic photophosphorylation, these two photosystems will be occurred, but first one PS2 will act, and after that PS1. So we can say that if PS1 is if at the, why it is not like that at first PS1 is not used, because as I have mentioned that these are named according to their discovery, not according to the function. Okay, as PS1 has been discovered first, that's why it is named as PS1, and later PS2 has been discovered. Okay, now we have to know the light harvesting complex. At the center we will find a single chlorophyll A molecule. It is considered as reaction center, and beside that some other pigments can be found. These are considered as antenna complex. Antenna complex. Okay, so what is light harvesting complex? That light harvesting complex are made up of 100 of pigment molecules which are bounded with proteins. Okay, so light harvest, I am repeating, light harvesting complex are made up of hundreds of pigment molecules bound to proteins, and each photosystem has all the different types of pigments except one chlorophyll A molecule, forming a light harvesting system which is called as antenna complex. So these pigments will come under this antenna complex. So I have mentioned that except one chlorophyll A molecule. So this one single chlorophyll A molecule will form the reaction center. Okay, so what will happen when the sunlight will fall? These molecules will get excited and they will send their energy to the next one. Like that, all the molecules will get excited and they will sell their energy to the chlorophyll. Why? What is the role of this antenna? These pigments help to make photosynthesis more efficient by absorbing different wavelengths of light. Okay, chlorophyll A particularly can absorb a particular wavelength. So, except this particular wavelength, these axillary pigments will help to absorb the different wavelength and it will help to pass the energy to chlorophyll A. So, for making photosynthesis more efficient. Okay, now the reaction center, this reaction center is different in both photosystem. For PS1 it is P700 and for PS2 it is P680. What is the meaning of that? That means that in PS1 reaction center chlorophyll A has an absorption peak at P700 nanometer. That means that in that particular PS1 a chlorophyll A molecule is present which can absorb maximum light at the 700 nanometer. Hence it is called as P700, and in the another case PS2 has an absorption maxima at P680 nanometer. That's why it is called as P600. So with the help of this system light can be absorbed. Now we have to know after that what reaction is taking place. That means first we will come to know non-cyclic photophosphorylation or electron transport chain. Electron transport. Now for that I will draw the light harvesting complexes. This one is P680 and this one is P700. So this one is PS2, PS1. So you will see that how PS2 will be required first. So these are the light. Okay. So next main part is non-cyclic photophosphorylation or the transport of electron. So in the photosystem 2 reaction center chlorophyll A absorbs 680 nanometer wavelength of red light, causing electrons to become excited and jump into an orbit further from atomic nucleus. So when they will get the light energy, they will be excited and they will be jumped up. The electrons will be jumped up like that. Okay, and these electrons will be accepted by some primary electron acceptor. These electrons are picked up by electron acceptor which will pass through the electron transport system. So here we will get primary electron acceptor. In short, I am writing PEA. So what is the full form of PEA? Primary electron acceptor. Okay. So first the primary electron acceptor will accept the electrons and then it will send these electrons through a electron transport chain. So what are they? PQ, CY, PC. What are the full form of these? So electrons will be transported like that. Full form of PQ is plastoquinone, CY for cytochrome complex, PC for plastocyanin. So in short we can write it like that: electron transport system. In your book only electron transport system is written, they are not provided the details. Okay, so this is the main thing. So you can call it that electron transport system. Now this movement of electrons is downhill. So first upward, then downhill, you can see, and in terms of an oxidation and reduction or redox potential scale. This is downhill in terms of oxidation reduction or redox potential scale. Okay, and as you know that the electrons are not used up as they passes through the electron transport chain. They are not used up, they are passing through the electron transport chain. ultimately these pigments these electrons are moving to the next photosystem, that is PS1. Okay, now electrons in the reaction center of PS1 reaches are excited when they receive, and now electrons has reached to that part. Now when they will get the sunlight, they will be activated, or when they will get the P700, this photosystem will be excited, right? And again that one will be transferred upward like that, and again this one will be accepted by another primary electron acceptor. Okay, so electrons again will get excited with the help of that slide and will move upward. Okay, and again what will happen, again these electrons move downhill, and this time to a molecule of energy rich NADP plus. So in the addition of electrons reduces NADP plus to NADPH and H plus. So again electron will move downwards, and in that particular time the help of that electrons NADP plus will be reduced to NADPH. NADP plus will be reduced to NADPH plus H plus. NADPH plus H plus. Okay. This whole system of transfer of electrons starting from the PS2 uphill to the acceptor, down to the electron transfer to another acceptor, and finally downhill to the NADP plus, causing it to be reduced NADPH and H plus, is called Z scheme. As you can see, it is forming a Z-like pattern. You can see first upward, downhill, upward, downward. So first it is forming a Z-like pattern. That's why this non-cyclic photophosphorylation is called as Z scheme due to its characterization of the shape. Okay, and this shape is formed when all the carriers are placed in a sequence of redox potential scale. If this sequence is placed in a redox potential scale, then we will get this type of Z scheme. Now another thing I have left, that is when the electrons are passing through the cytochrome, they are losing some energy. With the help of that, one ADP will be attached with inorganic phosphate and ATP will be formed. ATP will be formed. Okay, so what was the different steps of light reaction? First one was that absorption of light energy. So you can see this has been done. Second one is photolysis of water. So this step is left. So as you can see that PS2 is when it is excited, it is releasing an electron. But how does PS2 supply electrons continuously? How it is getting the electrons continuously? So the answer is that they are getting these electrons continuously with the help of that photolysis of water, or we can say that it is available due to splitting of water. Then the splitting of water is associated with PS2. Water is splitted into H plus, O and electrons. Okay. So what will happen? Water will be splitted and will form this. Okay, so from here we are getting electrons, and these electrons will be transferred to PS2, and by this they are getting a continuous electron supply. Okay, by this PS2 is getting continuous electron supply. Now it creates an oxygen atom also. So this oxygen will be released as a byproduct. As we know that at the end of the photosynthesis, oxygen will be released. So after the photolysis of water, the next step was the release of oxygen. So this oxygen will be released as the byproduct. Okay, and these H plus ions will be passed to the NADP plus, so that reduction can take place easily. Okay, now where these And the last step of light reaction was that the formation of high energy chemical intermediates, that is ATP and NADPH. You can see these two has also been formed. So the different steps of photosynthesis is completed. So I am repeating that absorption of light energy, second one is photolysis of water, third one is release of oxygen, fourth one is formation of high energy chemical intermediates like ATP and NADPH. Okay, so all the steps of photosynthesis or of light reaction of photosynthesis is we have seen. Now where this photolysis and reduction of NADP plus is taking place, this photolysis of water is taking place in the inner membrane of thylakoid, and the reduction of NADP plus is taking place on the outer membrane of thylakoid. Why? Because for this reduction an enzyme is required which is called as NADP reductase. NADP reductase. So NADP reductase enzyme is present on the outer membrane of thylakoid. That's why this reaction is taking place, formation of NADPH is taking place in the outer membrane of thylakoid, and the photolysis, that the complex which is required for photolysis of water is present in the inner membrane of thylakoid. That's why this photolysis will occur in the inner side of the thylakoid. Okay, so these where this formation is taking place is very important. So today I am completing the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Why it is non-cyclic? As you can see that electrons are not coming back to that photosystem 2. Okay, if it comes back, then it can be called a cyclic, but in that particular case it is not coming back. That's why it is forming a Z-like structure, and that's why it is called as non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Clear everyone? So in my next class I will discuss about the cyclic photophosphorylation. Any doubt? Any doubt? Okay, so read that part at your home and prepare for your exam, because your exam will held very soon. Okay. So thank you everyone, and bye for today.